think that people should use social media in exercising their freedom of speech? What should be the limits of freedom of speech in social media? Should we hold people accountable for misuse or abuse of social media in exercising their freedom of speech? Why or why not?
Alexandria Evangelista, grade 11.
Do you think that people should use social media and exercising their freedom of speech?
Yes, because we all know that social media is a website or application that focuses on communication. The social media has become a communication tool through voicing out their views, opinion, and forming groups for discussing and assembling agendas and total exercising their freedom of speech.
So, what should be the limits of freedom of speech in social media?
One of these is misinformation, because this is a false or inaccurate information. It is not safe to assume that false statement or information can be in social media platforms. There can be civil liability imposed for defamatory information of fact published without authorization that may damage other reputation.
Should we hold people accountable for misuse or abuse social media in exercising the freedom of speech? Why or why not?
Yes, we have to hold people accountable for misuse, because all abuse have a freedom of speech using a social media, and most importantly is they should be adverse consequence for misuse and abuse of their free speech rights.
My name is Alacar, 15 years old, grade 10 ho.
Sa iyong palagay, dapat bang gamitin ng mga tao ang social media sa paggamit ng kanilang kalayaan sa pagsasalita?
Oo, dahil sa panahon ngayon na halos lahat ng tao ay gumagamit na ng social media, at ito na rin ang isa sa nagiging paraan ng mga tao upang malaya silang makapagsalita o makipagkomunikasyon sa ibang tao.
Ano ang dapat na mga limitasyon ng kalayaan sa pagsasalita sa social media?
Dapat na pag-isipan mo ng mabuti bago ka magsalita gamit ang social media. Dahil anumang magkabagay na i-post natin sa social media at internet ay nasa sa publiko na kung saan marami ang makakakita. Kaya dapat pag-isipan muna ng mabuti bago mag-post ng kung ano-ano.
Dapat ba nating panagutin ang mga tao para sa maling paggamit o pag-aabuso ng social media? Sa paggamit ng ganilang kalayaan sa pagsasalita, bakit o bakit hindi?
Oo, dapat nating panagutin ang mga tao sa maling paggamit o pag-aabuso ng social media. Isang halimbawa nito ay ang cyberbullying, na kung saan ginagamit ang social media upang pagbantaan yung kaaway nila o ipahiya sa maraming tao. Isa ito sa mga dahilan kung kaya dapat panagutin ang mga taong inaabuso ang paggamit ng social media.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Mag-interview lang po. Ito po yung tanong. Do you think that people should use social media in exercising their freedom of speech?
Yes, because the social media is created for that reason.
Number 2. What should be the limits of freedom of speech in social media?
The only limits, I think, is posting fake news and sexual posts.
Okay. Should we hold people accountable for misuse of or abuse social media in exercising their freedom of speech? Why or why not?
It's a yes and no for me. Yes, because they don't think before posting something, and no, because maybe they are just not informed that their post might harm or affect other people.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ilosil Elmasinas at your service.
Pirang taon na po kang sa pagti-teacher.
11 years.
May yakot pa ako sa inyo. Ang ingat po, do you think that people should use social media in exercising their freedom of speech?
Perhaps because some of the people, they are confused or they are what do you call this, kumbaga na-hesitate sila when they are going to exercise their freedom of speech rather, if they use it in a personal way, but using the social media, they feel freely to express it whatever they want to say.
Okay po. Next question po is, what should be the limits of freedom of speech in social media? Ano yung mga limitation po?
Okay. So, the limits, of course, dapat hindi tayo makaka-hurt ng ibang tao, hindi natin na aapakan yung rights of the other people, their, kumbaga puri. Hindi natin sila nasisiraan, naapakan yung kanilang mga karapatan. So that is the important thing na dapat nating tatandaan kapag tayo ay gumagamit ng social media, even we have the what we call freedom of speech.
Okay po, thank you ma'am. Last question po is, should we hold people accountable for misuse or abuse of social media and exercising their freedom of speech? Why or why not?
Of course. Kasi kapag sobra naman inaabuso nila yung social media, kahit pa nga meron tayong karapatan na ilabas kung ano yung ating mga nararamdaman, ating opinion, kailangan pa rin natin na maging careful. So, kung naabuso natin ito, we are accountable of that. So, kaya dapat mag-ingat tayo sa mga ginagamit natin salita, sa mga ginagawa natin, even if it is a social media.
Okay ma'am, thank you po.
Brioso Lotino from BSMT 1A9, and I'm here to conduct a short interview about information revolution and freedom of speech. So, what is your name and saan ka nagkaklase?
Hi, I'm RB Barunyo po from CSPC, Camarines Polytechnic Colleges from Nabua, San Miguel. BSNED 1A, first year college.
The first question about, so do you think that the people should use social media in exercising their freedom of speech?
Do you think that people should use media in exercising their freedom of speech? Yes, I most compare on social media in exercising their freedom of speech. Mas maganda kapag freedom of speech tas may kaakibat na social media. Sa buhay kang tao, kaakibat na kang tao ang social media. Ma-disseminate kita ng information na maray, makakapalipot ng oras para magtaon ng informasyon para araw yan, may pandemya, kaipuhan ta yung social media para makatabang din sa ibang tao na mas palawakon kung ano ang nakasaad na mga bagong strategiya like araw social media para mapadali ang pagtaon ng information sa freedom of speech.
So, the number 2 question is, what should be the limit of freedom of speech in social media?
Okay, number 2, what should be the limits of freedom of speech in social media? Of course, kayo po antang limita ng sa dirita sa paggamit ng social media. Ibang mga tao na ina-abuse ini ang social media para makaraoting tao, disadvantages kaniyo is the cyberbullying. Pero minsan, kadalasan din, iba na yung advantage natin na tao. Inatong sinabi ko kan subago na napapadali ang pagtaon ng impormasyon sa pamamagitan ng social media. But we should think first, we must do to first is just think before we click, not to vain other life. Thank you.
So, the number 3 question is, Should we hold people accountable for misuse of or abuse of social media in exercising their freedom of speech? Why or not? Why or why not?
Para sa ko pwede din. 'Di ba? Kay puhantang aramon ang mga tao, 'di ba? Kay puhantang maaraman kung isay ang naga-abuse kay ning social media. Like organic people with accountable the misuse. Kadalasan kaya talaga kadakol nagiging maraot sa paggagamit kani. Pero 'di ba data aram ang isip kan tao, data aram kung gagara ka pusok ang sarong tao pag nagagamit ka ng social media. Mas maray na aramon tawan sindaning tamang knowledge or of course learning para sa inda or certain na brainstorming about sa disadvantages and advantages of social media in exercising their freedom of speech. Thank you.
Okay. So, thank you Mr. RV for short interview.